everybody. My name is Leslie Pyle, and I am the founder of HireMyMom.com. Today, I'm excited to have Chyanne Smith with me, and she's going to tell us all about who she is, what she does, and how she got to where she is now. So, welcome, Chyanne.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm so happy to be here. So my name is Chyanne Smith. My husband and I own Don't Be Shy brand. And so we originally started as Don't Be Shy Photography. And so we're a husband and wife team that specializes in local and destination weddings. And I kind of branched that out whenever I went full time and do multiple different types of photography now. And then we expanded again and we added mentorship programs for photographers and business owners. And then we expanded again and we added a podcast, which was geared towards entrepreneurial couples. And then we expanded again and we added the Don't Be Shy boutique. And so we just kind of, have grown our brand quite quickly over the years to add multiple different levels to it. And we're just really excited that we are able to not only work together as a husband and wife team, but also be able to help other couples in business. Just because, it's sometimes is a struggle whenever you have a family and you're trying to raise children and run businesses. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here and share what I have learned along the way.
Yeah, and I know that's so needed because it's difficult if your business partner is your spouse or someone else, because there's going to be, things to work through. There's going to be disagreements, and it probably puts it in a whole nother category when it's your husband or your wife. So I know that's got to be a much needed market.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why we had started our podcast, was just to let others know that they're not alone in the struggle. And we're very open about, how hard it can be, especially whenever you have two people that are used to being, kind of like the leads for their teams, and then you bring them together. And, we butt heads a lot. Not so much now, but there have definitely been a few times over the year where it was like, this is my business, so get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've learned a lot over the years, and it's something that we've grown to really love to do together. And we love to be able to show our girls how we work well as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, so tell us, how did you grow your business so quickly in a relatively short time?
Yeah. So when I started photography, I actually I didn't even own a camera. Daryl knew that photography was something that I had loved and that I had kind of helped with in some stuff that I had done for volunteer work. And so he actually bought me a camera. And one of the girls that I used to mentor got married, and she wanted somebody to come and shoot her wedding that she trusted. She was on a budget. And so she had asked me if I could come and shoot her wedding because she had seen some photos that I had been posting. And we shot her wedding and it went really well. And of course, she was very well known. So people seen that. So that was kind of a big one for us getting started quite quickly, was we had that word of mouth.
Mm.
But it wasn't something that I had planned on doing that year. And 3 months later, Daryl and I had actually got married. And our process of planning our wedding was not what either one of us had expected. We're both very customer service driven. And we just decided that we wanted to, jump 2 feet into doing wedding photography as much as we possibly could. And so we really focused on what our core values were to help
Mhm.
us grow our brand. And I think that really helped us grow quickly because people were really good about spreading the word for us that
Mhm.
we were doing something a little bit different. And we just kind of created this tribe of followers that went out and advertised for us and advocated and were just really good at spreading the word for us. So customer service, is kind of our main focus in everything that we do, but
Mhm.
creating those relationships with our clients
Yeah.
was something that really helped us grow extremely fast.
Right. Because they become basically like free advertising for you because they're so pleased with the work that you've done for them and how well you worked with them. And being customer service focused really pays off in the end.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so we just, We made sure that whatever we delivered was above and beyond what we had promised. Because when we really sat down and thought about what our experience was like when we were planning our wedding, it wasn't that our vendors didn't do a good job. It was that our expectations were different than what they had told us. And so we just really made sure that when we were meeting with our clients and for the photography side of things, and and even whenever I've done hair, I am a hairstylist by trade. So that was kind of my main focus before. I always sit down with my clients beforehand, and really kind of focus on what they want and make sure that our
Mhm.
communication is really good. So it works really in any business that you do,
Right.
is if you're really figuring out what your expectations of your clients are, then when you deliver, not only will you deliver what they want, but you can also deliver a little bit more, which is just going to
Mm.
make them rave about you
Yes.
even better.
Exactly. Yeah, that's such good tips for people to know because when you go above and beyond, I mean, think about in our own lives when we've, gone to a place of service or had dinner or whatever it might have been. When they go above or beyond, you just want to tell everybody because you're like, this is where you want to go. This is who you want to use because they're amazing. And it's like free word of mouth advertising. And that goes
Exactly.
a long way. So, yeah, that's awesome. So what is the best way for business owners to increase sales in your opinion?
Um, I'm gonna say it's gonna go back to sticking to your core values. And I think whenever you're starting a business, or if you're trying to do a little bit of a pivot in your business, is to really align your focus into what that value is, and then just focus on it and
Mhm.
build on it. So for us, because we are so close with our clients, anytime that we have pivoted in our business, I've added things, they've always been really good at following what we're doing because they're genuinely interested in what we're
Mhm.
doing, because they are now invested in us because we invested in them. And so I think, even if you're not necessarily customer service based, but you're focused on your your um maybe like price, like your budget point.
Mhm.
If you're focusing on that and you're making sure that you're always delivering what you say you're going to deliver, it will help you to be able to grow and increase those sales even faster. For us, we were always able to continue to raise our prices
Mhm.
as we grew, and we just did everything at a fairly steady pace. Like, we didn't go from low budget to high end overnight. We just made sure that we did small increases, and I think that was a big one that helped us.
Right. Yeah, that's good advice because when you do it gradually, it's not such a shock to a past customer. But if you go from, okay, this is $100 and now it's $500, then you're more likely to lose people. But if you go from 100 to maybe 150 or whatever it might be, they're like, oh, yeah, or that might be even too big of a price increase. But you know what I'm saying? Do it
Yeah, yeah,
gradually
exactly.
so that it's not such a like sticker shock. And they're like, yeah,
Yes.
they're worth it. I love working with them. They do amazing work, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because, yeah, if you're advertising yourself as, an affordable VA, or whatever it is that you do,
Mhm.
you just want to make sure that you are delivering what you say you are, so that people's expectations are met, right? And if you're
Mhm.
obviously advertising yourself as maybe a luxury, online boutique, then you're going to want to make sure that you have those luxury items and that they are what you say they are.
Yes, 100%. So, do you have any tips on how someone can improve their brand?
Yeah, like, I think the biggest thing that people need to start with is figuring out what their brand is. Like, again, those core values. What are your beliefs? What is your structure? And I think once you figure that out, the building and improving your brand is just
Mhm.
something that comes naturally. So when we first started out, we knew that we wanted to be affordable wedding photographers. That was big, like a big one for us, and we knew
Right.
that we wanted to deliver the best customer service that we possibly could. And as
Mhm.
we grew over the years, we kind of got known to be something more than that. And I had a hard time describing, in my social media or on our website exactly who we were, because we had grown and I
Mhm.
didn't really know what we had become, right? Like you change, you don't always
Yeah.
see in yourself what others see. And so one of the biggest things that we did was we did a lot of social media polls and just asked people, like, when you hear of us, what do you think? What comes to mind? And it
Yeah.
was great because people were really good at giving us those words that explained who we
Mhm.
were. And so then I didn't have to think of them myself.
Right.
But yeah, like people were really good at, like we were fun and we're easygoing, and like we were well educated in what we were doing. So just, things that kind of help us grow. And when we revamp our business, we always kind of look back at our clients to give us some guidance on what they really think that we are. And I think if you're
Right.
going to try to improve your brand,
Mhm.
asking for your audience's input is really important. We do forms every year for our clients, more so for our wedding clients and our mentorship clients, but
Mhm.
we ask them for feedback. What could we have done that would have made your experience better? Did we
Right.
deliver more than what you wanted? Because that's
Mhm.
something that's really important to us. We always want to deliver more than what people expected.
Right.
We ask them what we do good. And I think if you're going to try to improve your brand, just asking your audience what they need is a
Yes.
really easy thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that helps you continue to grow as a business where you might have a small hole that you didn't realize you're not, like maybe there's a gap of communication where they didn't quite figure out what to do next or whatever it might be. I mean, that feedback from your customers is gold, and it really helps you not only improve your business but ultimately scale and grow because you building from your foundation up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's free. So
Hmm.
I'm super like budget budget girl and
Yes.
frugal. And I think when you're starting a business, sometimes you don't always have the money to go and invest in getting somebody to get you all the analytics and all of the
Right.
data that you could use. And
Right.
for me, that was the easiest and the most cost effective thing to do.
Yeah, that's good advice. So do you have any secrets to social media engagement? I always hear people say, I put these posts out there, but I can't get anyone to engage. So what do you do? What are your suggestions?
Yeah, I'm definitely not a guru whenever it comes to social media. But I have noticed that we have been so blessed over the years to have clients that are just like little Facebook and Instagram warriors for us, and they're always tagging us and suggesting, us to other people. And so a lot of the times, even if I do a post on social media, and this is something that we always tell our girls too, is we really try not to focus on like the number of likes or
Hmm.
shares. And I know a lot of people do, but for
Yeah.
Daryl and I, our thought is always if we can help one person with
Mhm.
anything that we put out on social, that's our goal, as long as it made a
Right.
difference to one person. And yeah, like I'm just always engaging. Like if somebody makes a comment on a post that I do, I message them back and I'll
Hmm.
say like, thank you so much for that, or just the smallest thing, right? I think
Right.
that it's really important to be also engaging on other people's
Hmm.
posts. So even if they
Right.
don't necessarily engage on ours, if I see somebody, post on their personal or on their business, I'll go and I'll make a comment and share things for them as well. And I think
Hmm.
when people see you doing it, then they do it back to you. And so that
Yes.
always really helps. And the other thing for us is we are super real on social media. So our Instagram is not curated. It is very much behind the scenes,
Hmm.
kind of a glimpse into our life, the faces behind the brands. And that's something that we've always gotten really good feedback on, is people like
Hmm.
that we don't look like we're faking it.
Right.
So that's been a big one for us. And it's not everybody's brand. It goes well with our brand. So that's
Hmm.
why we're able to do that. I know some people do need to have a little bit more of a curated, social media feed, but for us, we just really make sure that we're true to our brand. And then we treat social media kind of like a cocktail mixer, I'm going to go up to somebody and say, hey, like, I really like your shoes. I'm going to post on their feed, hey, I really like your outfit, or I
Right.
really like what you're doing, in hopes that eventually they're going to come back and talk to me. People, some people don't want to talk. Some people don't want to comment on
Right.
your social media. And that's okay. I don't let it hurt my feelings.
Right. But other people are seeing your comments on there
Yes.
and, maybe they're like, wow, that was a really sweet comment or whatever, and they click on you. So I think
Yes.
that's something that people often forget is to go out and engage on other, maybe it's not your competition, but it's people that are in your same industry. So for a wedding photographer, you might follow some florist or some, cake decorators or whatever, and expand your clientele that way, because they're like, oh, this photographer really says nice things about this florist or whatever it might be. Let's check her out. And it makes people then want to engage with you, because they're saying, oh, she's just not about herself and her business, she's really trying to build others up too.
Right. Yeah. And the other good thing to do too, is if you know where your ideal client hangs out, and I'm sure you'll probably touch base on an ideal client profile and in one of your interviews, but it's something that's really important to us, is to know our ideal client and
Hmm.
where they hang out, because a lot of the
Right.
times I'll be in those Facebook groups, and I'll give my, my 2 cents on whatever somebody is asking. And I do it as me. I don't do it as don't be shy.
Right.
But people get to see that I'm in the community and that I'm trying to help people, and that we love to be able to give advice when it's something that we can help with. And it can be
Hmm.
on anything. It can be on, like, what florist does somebody like, or where to find, girls jeans for a really tall skinny teenager, like things like
Hmm.
that. So I'll, whatever it is that I can help with, I'll make a comment on it, because people get used to seeing your name on social media, and like you said, they'll
Hmm.
click on it, and it has all of my information on all of the businesses that we
Right.
have, the groups that we're involved in. And so then people can just kind of do their own research and
Hmm.
hopefully stumble upon one of our businesses that can help them out.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so when should a person take their business to the next level and incorporate?
Yeah, this one's a hard one, because when we started the photography side of things, um, I was like, it's just a hobby. I'm not going to do it full time. I had a
Hmm.
career. I wasn't going to leave my career. It was
Right.
never in the books. But my husband, bless his heart, is definitely the more business minded guy. I'm the creative
Yeah.
one. He had said, he's like, you should incorporate right away. And I am the person that likes to do the research on why. Like, I don't like to do things twice. And so we
Hmm.
went and we met with our lawyer. And for us, it made sense for me to incorporate because of insurance
Hmm.
issues that we could
Right.
potentially have within our business. And so our lawyer was really good at explaining it to me. Whatever, it costs you $50 or $100 to go sit down with your lawyer,
Right.
but it could cost you a lot more if you don't make the right decision.
Right. Yes.
And so it wasn't even from an accounting standpoint, it was from a legal standpoint for us as to why we incorporated. Because um, where we are, um, it's not like you're getting sued every day, but if somebody were to hurt themselves during a photo shoot, I didn't want to have my personal side of
Hmm.
things attached to my brand. And so it
Right.
was just easier for us to incorporate from the get-go.
Yes.
Um, but a lot of the people that we mentor and a lot of the girls that work with us on our photography team, we don't suggest that they incorporate, because it costs a lot of money to run your business that way. And so
Hmm.
because they do, like, their wedding photography under our umbrella, they're covered by us.
Hmm.
Um, and then for their kind of personal side of things, they're not doing a lot of stuff that is high risk, and they
Right.
can get insurance to cover them. So I really think it depends
Hmm.
on the business that you have, because some
Right.
people have low risk. Like, if you're a knitter and you're selling stuff on Etsy, you're probably not going to need to incorporate,
Hmm.
because you don't have a risk of, any of those other kind of
Right.
things that might pop up, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're somebody that um, maybe has those types of risks, then you're probably going to want to incorporate sooner.
Right. And always, if you're not sure, like, I'm not sure if I have any risk or not, then an appointment with an attorney, whether it's a phone call or an in-person meeting, is well worth the $100, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
exactly. And there are some some lawyers that will do a free consult for you. So if you don't
Oh,
already have a lawyer that you
right.
work with, but we're really lucky, like we have a good team for our lawyers and for our accountant.
Mhm.
And so they're really good at kind of keeping an eye out on things for us. And so yeah, that was something that we just made sure that we did right away so that I wouldn't have to pay to redo it, because that's the other thing is we had
Right.
our goals laid out. Like we knew, um, well, my husband knew, I didn't, because again, I was saying that this was just a hobby.
Right.
But my husband had these goals that he knew that we were going to expand our business, that we knew we were going to grow it.
Right.
And so when we incorporated as Don't Be Shy, so that we could branch out.
Right.
We made sure that it was a business name that would work for anything that we wanted to do.
Hmm.
And so we are able to run, multiple businesses from that one corporation, right? We have that umbrella. And
Right.
I think, yeah, writing down your long-term goals, like if you
Hmm.
know that you want to have a brick and mortar store, or that you intend on growing so much,
Hmm.
maybe doing it right off the get-go might save you some money than having to redo everything 4 years down the road. Because again,
Yeah.
I'm frugal, and I would rather just spend like $700 or $1,000 one time
Right.
to get it all done
Yes.
right.
Yes. And that's good. You try to do the best you can to think through it all in the beginning before you
Yeah.
jump to any kind of set decision one way or the other. And I know probably most people, excuse me, there are, small business groups on Facebook or whatever for your local area. So if you don't know of an attorney, that's one way that you can find where are some small business attorneys, and who do y'all suggest? Because sometimes it's kind of scary just to open up, well, I shouldn't say open a phone, but nobody does that, but Google, and try to find someone. So that's one thing that I know is common, just to look for local small business Facebook groups for your area and see, ask questions in there. What type of business? I'm a photographer. Are y'all incorporated? Are you an S corp? Are you an LLC? And then kind of take that advice and go to an attorney, because nobody knows better than someone who does it for a living.
Right, exactly. And that puts you back in that cocktail room for your
Yes,
networking on social media, because people get to know your name. They're going to be like, oh,
right,
she's, a photographer, and oh, she's active in this group. And
right.
yeah, like it's just one big circle, right? You're just always
Yes.
working and
Always
getting your name
networking,
out
and
there.
that's right.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome, Cheyenne. That was my last question. Do you have any final thoughts or anything else you wanted to share?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, like there's so much whenever you're a business owner. And I really think that people, that whether they're starting out or they're doing a restructure in their business, is they just need to remember to have empathy for themselves.
Mhm.
Because sometimes it can get overwhelming, right? Like you
Yeah,
think that you have to do all of these things right off the get-go, and sometimes it paralyzes people so that they
yeah,
don't actually want to get started. Sometimes people just end up beating themselves up because they're not doing enough. And I think that, if I had a tip for anyone, it would just be to have empathy with yourself and with your
mhm,
partner if you're working with your partner.
right.
um, that yeah, like you can only do so much. Just try to do one thing a day to help you get towards your goal. And it can be great. Like I love being an entrepreneur.
Yes, it is. It's amazing. All right. Well, if someone wants to learn more about you and your services, where can they find you?
Yeah, you bet. So you can find us on our website is the easiest, because it'll take you to everything. And so it's just Don't Be Shy, and it's chy.com. And so we've got all of our information on there for photography, for the boutique, and then for our business mentorship as well. And then I am on social media on Don't Be Shy. Boutique will get you to my Instagram and on Facebook. And then Don't Be Shy Photography on Facebook for photography. We got lots going on.
Yes, you do. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
Well, thank
for a little while, people will still be able to look up our podcast until we get it switched over. Just because, like I had mentioned to you pre-interview, we're gonna try to focus more on our mentorships, but our podcast has a lot of really good tips for couples. So if you have viewers that are couples, they
Mhm.
can get more information on that at We Got This podcast.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Cheyenne. You've been a wealth of information and tips for our audience.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.